My name is Robin Palm. My gamer tag has been Renegade for a long time. I am the founder of RV8tournaments.com, as well as the host and organizer for the Civil War series of tournaments. I also do a lot of local tournaments in my area. I've been running tournaments since about 2001. Well, I've been actually playing fighting games since I was a child. My older brother was responsible. He brought me to the arcades in 1991 with Street Fighter II. I could barely actually reach the control panel, but you know, I grew up with fighting games. We were playing on the Super Nintendo and stuff like that, and just love them. And I started getting in competitive about when I went to college. My college had an arcade. I met some people that that were in the competitive scene and started traveling for tournaments. My main tournament games when I started was Street Fighter Alpha 3 and Marvel vs. Capcom 2, actually, were the games that I mostly traveled for. I also played stuff like Capcom vs. SNK 1 and whatnot. My main hangout at the time was, besides my college arcade, was I started running tournaments at Game Time Arcade in about 2001, 2002, until that one closed. And ever since then, I've been a tournament organizer based out of Richmond, Virginia. I mostly play just basically Street Fighter games, although as I've gotten older and focused more on personal life as well as running tournaments, my competitive drive has fallen a little bit. But I still like coming out in events for the sense of community, hanging out, and just staying in touch with everybody to help me organize better tournaments. I got involved basically when the Game Time Arcade just didn't have tournaments. And so me and another guy, David Fennell Sparatic, stepped up and were saying we're going to host monthlies. Back then, we got 40 people for Capcom SNK 2. That was a huge thing, and people would travel states away for a 40-person tournament. And playing it on one cabinet would take like 16 hours. It was kind of crazy. My first big sort of tournament of this size, not this size, but like a hotel-based tournament, was Virginia Mid-Atlantic Video Games Championships in 2005. Our biggest tournament then was Tekken 5 for the PS2. It had just come out, and there was about 75 people in that. Remember, Gin Master won that one. That's going way back. And then when I got back from my overseas contracting, I wanted to step it up a little bit, so I started the Civil War series, and this coincided with when Street Fighter 4 came out, and I've been doing that ever since. Civil War 4 was on the Road to Evo. Road to Evo, scaled down a little bit this year, so we're not on it, but we still have. It's going to be bigger and better than it was last year. Well, basically, what we try to go for is we try to go for that old school kind of major mentality. Old school majors were held in arcades. Now, we can't run a modern mega tournament on arcade hardware, but we can bring the arcade there for casual play. So we have a full Japanese style arcade for people to play on. All the old school classics, Alpha 2, Alpha 3, Super Turbo, Garo, all that sort of stuff on Japanese candy cabs. And that's a major part, and those are going to be on free play all day. We're going to have all the 7 main Evo games. We pride ourselves on staying on time and keeping to a schedule. And the biggest draw for a lot of people that come to Civil War is our trophies. We are the ones that give out actual Civil War replica swords as a trophy. It's engraved with the Civil War 5 and the name of the tournament and stuff like that. Last year, Chris G won 3, so he's definitely like Zorro. He held one in his teeth and both in his hands, and he's coming back for more this year. So every time I talk to a top player, they're like, "Yeah, I'm coming. I want to win a sword." So that's kind of a stroke of genius on our part, and it fits right in with the theme and the theme of the town, because Richmond has a lot of Civil War history, so it's pretty cool. It's a small scene. Richmond's not a very big town, but it's very consistent. Like, we have like 2 to 3 meetups a week. People try to get better. People watch streams and they're more aware of what's going on nationally. we have a talent base to work with, and I think we do pretty good considering what that talent base is. But sometimes we lose, some of our best and brightest, we lose them to League of Legends or something like that, and it's always tough because when you lose one player in a community that's not that large, it's tough on the scene as a whole, because you need a critical mass of players for everybody to improve. Actually, I've had this conversation a lot recently because, you have tournament organizers that do it semi-professionally. Big E hosts 3 tournaments a year. His family gets involved and all that sort of stuff. I'm not at that level. I mean, I have grad school, I have other things to worry about, and I only host the one really big tournament a year. I would like it to be the tournament for my area. That's what inspired me a little bit to start it, because there was nothing like this scale, or even half of this scale, in the Virginia, Maryland, DC, North Carolina area. There's just nothing there. And so, I wanted to step up and do that. If it's just something that sort of rallies the community, every year to come out and play and have a good time, and even if I have to emphasize the casual aspects of it, where you could come and you can hang out and you could play an arcade, all weekend. I mean, that has a successful business model too. There's a convention called MagFest that is just based on, hey, everybody come to this place and play video games all weekend. There's no competition. There's nothing. People go nuts. And last year, they had over 10,000 people come to the Gaylord Convention Center and right outside of DC. So I'm trying to figure out what the focus is going to be going forward. But basically, the main thing that we try to do is we try to give an amazing, great time, whether you go 0-2 or whether you win the tournament. You're going to have fun and have a great time hanging out at the Civil War tournament.